you, sir.
Okay, let's start from the beginning. Sorry, very sorry. Okay, I forgot to share screen and I forgot to record. Okay, start from the beginning. Okay, today we're going to discuss about firewall, especially the difference between generasi pertama firewall, generasi kedua firewall, dan juga firewall generasi ketiga. Or some people will say that the third generation firewall is called next generation firewall. So that's why you can search about next generation firewall, and then you can find lots of vendor offering their product on that next generation firewall. For example, we have the Luigi, we have the Sonic Wall, we have the Palo Alto, even Cisco, and then what else? Yeah, that's all I can remember. Okay. So Cisco, and then Cloudflare, and then what else? Okay. And then, okay. And then what else? Yeah, lots of vendor provide their product as a next generation firewall. So hari ini atau sore ini kita akan belajar tentang apa bedanya generasi pertama, kedua, dan ketiga atau next generation firewall. Oke. Nah, di LMS you can also learn from the lecture note. First is login to the router here as root with the password is cybersecurity and then run IPFW enable firewall. Sebenarnya, or actually in FreeBSD, we have three kinds of firewall, but only IPFW or IPFW is the one that already built inside the FreeBSD. The other two, which is PF and IPF, we have to install it first before we can use it. So instead of using those two, IPF and PF, I prefer to use IPFW. Okay. Sebenarnya pada saat kita menyalakan router, IPv sudah enable, tapi untuk memastikan kita IPv enable firewall terlebih dahulu. Seperti ini, jalankan. Kemudian jalankan IPv or IPFW show. By using IPFW show, we can examine what are the rules inside the firewall. As you can see in here, we have two numbers. The first one, angka pertama adalah 65535565535. This is the firewall rule number. So this is the number of the rule. And then the second number, which is in this case 117, is the number of packets match this rule. Because how the firewall works is by accepting a package first and then check whether its rule is matched to this package. It will check starting from the lowest number of the rule, dari rule number paling kecil, cocok enggak? Tidak. Cocok? Tidak. Tidak. Cocok? Tidak. Tidak. Sampai akhirnya, at last, it can find a match rule. So in this case, so far we already identified, we already find 117 packets match to this rule. And the rule is deny IP from any to any. And then the third number is the number of bit. Bit or byte? Bit, yes, bit. So we have 64,675 bits matched to this rule. So we can check by using the number of packets, 117, or the number of bit, which is 64675. And then the rule is deny IP from any to any, which has the meaning of everything on the network layer or IP layer will be denied. Okay, got confused. Switching vocabulary. Teman-teman masih ingat kita punya di TCP/IP layer aplikasi, layer transport, dan layer network. Oke. Nah, karena kita deny layer IP, maka dia tidak akan peduli atasnya, tapi semua akan di-deny. Tapi kalau nanti kita deny TCP misalnya, for example, deny TCP, then the IP can still get through. Because the denied one is on the transport layer, not the IP layer. If we deny the IP layer, then everything on top of the IP layer will be denied also. So deny IP from any to any, meaning that everything will be denied. For example, when I try to ping to the server, it will be denied. Let's try to ping again. Request timeout. And then we can see that the number of the counter will increase. Okay. So there are already 171 match packets match to the rule. Okay. Now, how about if I want to allow this ping to the server? But before we do that, let's try to ping 198.162.56.113. This is actually the IP address of the router itself. Remember, last week we will explain that we have client has the IP address of 192.56.112, and then we also have the router 192.168.56.113. This is the router, and then we also have the 192.168.100. And then this one is the server, which has the IP address of 192.168.1.101. So let's try to ping the router to this site. Still request time out. So even though 56.113 is on the same side of the client, it's still rejecting the IP layer. Okay. Now, let's try to disable the firewall. Now, let's try to ping the server 1101. Now, it got connected to the server. However, IPFW show it won't counting again. Reply. Okay. So it's still the same because the IPFW is disabled. It will not count the packet again. Now let's try to enable again. Let's try to move on. So what is the meaning of deny IP from any to any? That means everything will be denied. So we have two types of firewall based on this final rule of the firewall, because firewall number 65,535 is the last number, is the lowest number of the firewall rule. We cannot add more rule after this rule because this is the lowest number of firewall rule. Ini sudah paling yang terakhir. Kita hanya bisa membuat, we can only create or add a new firewall rule on lower number. Contohnya rule number 1000, rule number 10,000. It's above the 65,535. So this is the last firewall rule number. So because the last firewall rule number is denying everything, we can call this firewall, kita biasa menyebut firewall ini adalah normally closed. So this firewall close everything, and then we can open a specific door. Okay, you can come in. Open this door. Okay, you can come in. But just these two doors. That's what we call normally closed. Normally, all doors are closed, but then we can open a specific door. That's what we call normally closed. Okay. The opposite is normally open. So all doors will be open, and then okay, this door I'm going to close, click, and then this door I'm going to close, click, etc. But the rest of the door are still open. That's what we call normally open. But in this case, we use a normally closed firewall. Okay, that's the meaning of deny IP from any20. Now, testing IP access. Login to router as manager. Okay. Login to router as manager. Okay. So I'm going to exit first and then manager. And then the password is also cybersecurity. Okay. Remember the difference between the prompt. If we are login as root, we have the hashtag symbol. But using a normal user like manager, I can have only the prompt of a $sign like this. Okay. This means I'm a limited user. Now, capture the packet going through the router by using TCP/DUM. Okay. So TCP/DUM write as, this is the file name, firewall http.ticket. Oops. Okay, I'm supposed to. Okay, I cannot create. I cannot capture. I cannot use TCP/DUM. Saya tidak bisa menggunakan TCP/DUM kalau sebagai manager. Saya lupa. Berarti I'm supposed to be a super user. Cyber security. Okay, then I can try to TCP/DUM write as fw http.ticket. Okay. And then login to client. Login to client. Okay. And then try to access the web server in HTTP. Oke. Jadi kita pakai web browser. Di sini kita menggunakan Internet Explorer dan kita akan mencoba mengakses server .mynet.id. Enter. harusnya gagal, is supposed to fail karena firewall masih memblok akses ini. Ya, benar, ini masih muter-muter globe yang ada di pojok kanan atas, coba mengakses. Oke. Udah kelamaan ya, kita stop aja. Kita stop terlebih dahulu. Nah, sekarang kita coba membuka aksesnya. Pada router, buat sebuah teletype baru, kan ini kita sekarang TTY 0, kita sekarang mau ke TTY 1. Jadi kalau in Unix, we can have several teletype. Teletype is something like an interface to access the operating system. It's like a session. So we can have TTY0, TTY1, for example, like this. There is a login at TTY virtual TTY0. So we can just click the Alt F1. But remember, in some keyboard, we're supposed to also press the function button. Ya, kita sudah punya TTYV1. Jadi sekarang kan kita pindah sesi, tapi yang tadi masih ada dengan menekan Alt function F1. Ini yang tadi, dan kita kembali ke yang F2 sekarang. Ini F2. Kalau mau nambah sesi, kita bisa pakai F3, F4, F5, dan seterusnya. Kalau nggak salah sampai F8. Oke. Di sini kita mau menambah firewall rule. So, root, and then password is cyber security. Okay. Now, add a new firewall rule by issuing the command dengan menggunakan ipfw ipfw add 1000. This means I want to add a new rule with the rule number 1000. Remember, we have a rule number. And then the rule is please allow IP from the client, which is 192.168.56.112. Remember about this? From client to server 192.168.1.101. Okay, now check with IPFW show. Okay, now we have a new rule with the number of 1000 before the last rule, which is the IP from ini. And this new rule, the counter is still 0. So there is no, up to now, there is no match rule or there is no package match to this rule yang cocok atau yang sesuai dengan filter di firewall rule ini. And the rule is please allow IP from this IP to this IP. So we're going to allow all IP packets from client to server. Okay, now let's try to access the server again. Enter. Still not connecting, so we're going to stop here first. Let's check the counter now. We can see that there is already 8 packets matched to this rule, which is from this IP address to this IP address. But how come? Kenapa tidak bisa mengakses servernya? It still failed. Why? Itu karena that's because we only allow all packets from client to server. But remember, dari kelas yang pertama, server will also send a packet to the client. So there will be a response package. This is only the request. We are only allowing the request, but not the response from the server. So we have to add another rule. So then the packet from the server can go through the firewall and coming to the client. So we need to add another rule. Sorry. Now let's add another rule, which is allowing from the server, which is 1101, to the client, 56112. But we can change the number, or you can just use the same number. It's okay. But in this case, we're going to use a different number. Okay. Now, IPFW show. Now we have 2 new firewall rule. First one is number 1000. The second one is number 1100. Jadi ada 2 rule firewall baru, 1000 dan 1100. Yang rule number 1000 sudah ada 28 paket IP yang match dengan rule-nya. Tapi yang rule number 1100 masih kosong. Belum ada paket yang sesuai dengan filter ini. Nah, sekarang kita coba dari klien mencoba mengakses server. Enter. Sekarang kita bisa mengakses servernya. Dan kalau kita lihat using IPFW show, sekarang terlihat bahwa ada penambahan 30 packet as a request from client to server, dan ada 20 paket sebagai responnya dari server ke klien. Jadi ada 30 paket baru dari klien ke server, 30, dan ada 20 paket sebagai respon dari server ke klien. Jadi, untuk membuka akses suatu klien, so if you want to open access for a specific client to a server, we have to add 2 new rules. One is for the from client to server for the request, and then one is for the response. Because in TCP/IP or in application layer, they work both way. We have to send something and then accepting a response from the server. So that's why we have to add 2 new rules. One is for the, we call it upstream. The other one is for the downstream, from the server to the client. Okay. Now, so the conclusion about this firewall is every time we want to open an access from client to server, we have to add 2 new rules. That's the conclusion. One is for the upstream, and the second one is for the downstream. Okay. Now, everything is so good up to now. So we have already access specific client. We already open a specific client to the server. However, by allowing this rule, this means we are allowing everything from client to server. Even when the server or the client trying to access not just HTTP, but also FTP. The client can also access the SMTP, SSH, HTTPS, everything, because we are allowing everything from client to server, vice versa. Now, how can we limit this access? Is by allowing not on the IP layer, but on the application layer by using its port number. Okay. Now, here we only testing IP access. So everything will be allowed from client to server. But now we only want to allow only HTTP access. Klien hanya boleh mengakses web, tidak boleh mengakses yang lainnya ke server. So, if that's the case, then this firewall rule is not enough. Kita harus mengubah firewall rule-nya. Oke, sekarang kita coba firewall rule-nya kita flash dulu. Jadi kita sekarang ingin mengakses hanya untuk HTTP saja. Jadi kita akan menghapus dulu. By using IPFW, delete 1000, the rule number, and then IPFW, delete 1100. Now, IPFW show, we're going to back to basic, deny everything. Now, if I want to add access from the client to the server, then I can just add IPFW add 1000, just like our previous. But in this case, we're not going to use IP, but on the transport layer, which is the TCP. So we are only allowing TCP. So if there is a UDP, then it will be denied. From client to server, and then the port number 80. So this means client hanya bisa mengakses server pada port number 80. 80 is the well-known port number which is for HTTP. Jadi hanya untuk web browsing saja. Jadi port nomor 80 itu hanya untuk web browsing. Kalau misalnya, for example, I want to limit the access only for SMTP. So the client is not supposed to access the web server, tidak boleh mengakses web servernya, tapi hanya untuk email. So in this case, we're not going to use 80, but 25. Karena 25 is the port number for SMTP. Okay, but for example, we are going to use the limiting access to the web server, 80. Okay, and will this be enough? Nope. Just like our previous example, we have to open or add a new rule for the downstream. Okay, so we're going to need to allow, for example, in this case, we're going to have 1,100 from the server 1101 to the client. And what is the port number? This will be problem. Why? That's because remember in HTTP, for example, document, kuliah, security, and then this is the. Okay, do we have the? Okay. Okay, not this one. Okay, we still have the. Have in here. No. Okay, there's the. Perhaps in here. Oh yeah, that's it. HTTP. Remember in HTTP, paket yang dikirimkan sebagai request dari klien ke server, destination portnya memang 80. Tapi source portnya 1029. Dan source port ini yang akan digunakan sebagai responnya. Di sini, destination port is now 1029. So from client to server, destination port is 80. That's for the upstream. But for the downstream, it's not 80, but it's going to use a random number, which is 1029. Okay, so why don't we just open? Kenapa tidak kita buka saja 1029? Good idea. Hanya saja, problem is this number 1029 is a random number. Because after this, it's not going to use the same 1029, but it's going to use another number. Okay, not in here, but it's going to use 1030, and then the next request response will going to use 1031, and then 1032, etc. Depends on the mood, not the mood, depends on the randomness of the client. So we cannot open by using this port number. Why? Because random. Sekarang mungkin 1029 bisa masuk responnya. Tapi sesi berikutnya, request dan respon. Nah, respon yang kedua is not going to use the same number. It's not going to use the same 1029. It could be 1030. So that means we have to allow, okay, why don't we just open 1029 and 1028, 1030, etc. We can open all port number. That's a good idea. So why don't we just open everything, allow TCP from server to client. So IPFW show. So we have two new rules. First one is allowing from client to server, but only on specific port number, hanya untuk web browser, dan kembaliannya, responnya bebas. Oke, kita coba. Tuh. Okay, sorry. Just enter this one. Oh, still works. Kita cek. Ya. Ada 10 paket yang sesuai dengan rule ini. Dan ada 8 paket yang sesuai dengan rule ini. Aman kan? Cuma masalahnya, by using rule number 1100, we are opening all the port number. Dan jangan lupa, server itu terletak di luar. That means we are opening all of our doors to the outside environment. Jadi, kita sudah membuka dengan rule seperti ini, kita membuka. Oke, siapapun boleh mencoba mengakses saya. That's a big no-no in cybersecurity. Karena kalau kita membuka semuanya, berarti semua orang di luar sana bisa mencoba semua port yang ada. Tes port 80, nggak ada, oke. 100, oh nggak ada, oke. 110, nggak ada, dan seterusnya. Oke, we're not going to use this firewall rule. So, instead of using these rules, now we can use what we call the second generation firewall. So, let's delete first. IPFW delete 1100. And okay, back to normal, denying everything. Now, and add by allowing TCP from client to server with the port number 80, and then we're going to add keep state. Okay. Now IPFW show. Now we add one new rule, which is allowing TCP dari klien ke server sepanjang menggunakan, as long as they are using port number 80. And please record this transaction. That's the meaning of keep state. So keep state meaning that please record, tolong ingat tentang transaksi ini. So if ever, kalau ada suatu paket yang sesuai dengan rule ini, so if there is any package, IP package or TCP packet match to this rule, please remember. So when the server sending the response, you are going to allow that package. So please remember, this is the request, and then if there is a response from the user, then you are going to allow that packet. Okay, so let's try using this. It works. So by using only one rule, now we can allow upstream and also the downstream. This is what we call second generation firewall. In first generation firewall, we have to open one by one by using specific rule for each upstream and also the downstream. Jadi kita harus bikin dua rule terpisah di first generation firewall, satu untuk upstream, satunya lagi untuk downstream. Itu generasi pertama. But in second generation, we are only need to create one rule. But please remember, if there is a request match to this rule, you are going to allow the response. Jadi kita hanya bikin satu rule. Kalau nanti ada paket yang sesuai dengan rule ini, maka nanti respon dari user akan langsung oke, go ahead, lewat, pass. So, only one rule, but it will cover both upstream and also the downstream. Okay, so what is the benefit and drawback of firewall generation 1 and generation 2? Apa kelebihan dan kekurangan generasi 1 dan generasi 2? Di generasi 1, kekurangan jelas. Kita harus bikin 2 rule. Untuk kita harus bikin 2 rule untuk upstream dan juga downstream. Dan itu menjadi kelebihannya generasi 2 tentunya kan. Karena kita hanya perlu 1 rule untuk upstream dan juga downstream. Tapi apa kelebihan dari generasi pertama? Generasi pertama, dia tidak perlu mengingat. Dia cuma mengecek, oke, sesuai dengan rule ini, lewat. Tapi di generasi kedua, dia harus nyatat. Oke, sesuai dengan rule ini, wah, keep state. So I need to remember, I need to write it down. Okay, wait, I will write it down. There is a package from this IP address to this IP address to this port number. Okay, go ahead. And then if there is a response from the server, I'm going to check my memory again. Is there any package related to this? Oh yeah, there's one. So you are responsible from this request. Okay, you go ahead. So the drawback of using generation 2 is we need memory. And in a very busy router, this will hog your memory. Dia akan menghabiskan memori dari router Anda. Kalau kita tidak hati-hati menggunakan keep state. Jadi jangan sampai semua rule kita bikin keep state, cukup rule yang perlu-perlu saja. So don't add keep state to all rules, but only as needed one only. Okay. Now, let's try to the last demonstration is wait. Let's restart this client. Okay, waiting. Okay. Now, let's try to access the web server again. Okay, ready? Let's try to open the Internet Explorer again. Stop it. Now, try to open server.mynet.id. Hey, what happened? Kenapa saya tidak bisa mengakses servernya sekarang? Still searching. unsetting. Kenapa? Kan sudah kita allow di sini. Dan paketnya sudah ada yang sesuai. Ada yang kira-kira tahu kenapa sekarang tidak bisa setelah klien di restart? Oke, jawabannya adalah DNS. So the reason why client fail to access the server right now is because the DNS. Client has no access to the DNS because we are only allowing port number 80. Port number 80 is a well-known port number for HTTP only. Jadi port 80 itu hanya untuk HTTP. While DNS use different port number. DNS menggunakan port number 53. So, because we are not allowing port number 53, then the client cannot access the server. It actually can access the server, but it cannot find what is the IP address of server.mynet.id. Because by using URL server.mynet.id, first you need to ask what is the IP address of server.mynet.id. After that, the IP address of server.mynet.id is 192.168.111. Oh, after finding the IP address, then it can match this rule. However, the problem is the DNS. DNS is blocked by the router. So, we need to add another rule, let's say 800, is by allowing UDP. Remember, DNS works mostly on UDP. And this is the DNS number. Also the same number with the server. So we have only one server for HTTP and also for DNS. And the port number is 53, and also we need to use the keep state. Oops, I'm missing from. Allow UDP from. Okay, IPFW show. Okay, now it can open the server, because first you need to access the DNS first to find out berapa IP address dari server mynet ID. Oh, ternyata IP address-nya adalah 1.101. Then it will access through this port number 80. Okay. So by using DNS, you need to open the DNS. By using a web service, you need to open the web service with port number 53 and also 80. Now, how about if I'm going to use HTTPS? Okay. Now, dia menemukan IP address-nya server mynet.id, yaitu 101. However, client cannot access to the server. Why? Because HTTPS is not using port number 80, but it uses port number 443. 3. So we need to add another rule, which is 443. Okay. IPFW show. Do you want to proceed? Yes, of course, yes. Now you can access the HTTPS. Okay. Now, that's for generation 1 and generation 2, or first generation and second generation of firewall. Now, how about the third generation of firewall? What is next generation firewall? Kalau kita perhatikan di generasi 1, allow IP. That means we are allowing everything from a client to the server. The problem is, even if we are using second generation, which limit only for web browsing only, Anda hanya boleh pakai web browser. You only allowed to access HTTP only, port number 80. No other port number, only port number 80. But that means all access to this port will be allowed. The problem is, even if you are only using web browser, some malware works using a web browser by using its extension. Sebagai contoh, kalau teman-teman misalnya menggunakan Google Chrome, for example, you are using Google Chrome, then you have the possibility to install extension. Anda bisa menginstal extension di Google Chrome, kan? Nah, masalahnya, extension tersebut ada yang malware. Malware berarti dia akan mencuri seluruh data Anda dan dia akan mencoba untuk mengirimkan data tersebut ke luar. The problem is you are allowing that access, which is port number 80. So, pada next generation firewall, meskipun kita sudah mengallow akses web, seluruh transaksi datanya itu akan diperiksa lebih lanjut oleh next generation firewall. So the purpose of next generation firewall is to examine all transaction coming through port number 80. So even though you are sending, I'm only sending email, but it could be a malware attaching something to your emails. So that is the purpose of next generation firewall, to check whether you are actually only sending email or there is another extension attaching something to your email. Jadi tugas dari next generation firewall adalah memeriksa seluruh transaksi data untuk memastikan apakah ada malware. Oke, jadi next generation firewall bekerja sampai ke layer aplikasi. So next generation firewall works on the application layer. It can open all of your data just to make sure that everything is okay. Your data is okay. There is no malware, there is no virus, there is no Trojan or worm. Everything is fine. So that's the purpose of next generation firewall. Okay, so it's just checking your data. Karena kalau menggunakan firewall generasi 2, kita tidak bisa membuka datanya. Kita hanya bisa membuka header paket. Dari mana? Mau kemana? Pakai port number berapa? Oke, lewat. Where do you come from? Oh, that's IP address. And we are going to that IP address. What port number are you using? Oh, 80. Okay, you are allowed. But we are not checking the data. That's the purpose of next generation firewall, is to check the content of your transaction. Okay. But in this course, we're not going to learn about next generation firewall because, well, it's a very big program. It's a very big virtual machine, but we can use it or show you, not today, but supposedly on the maybe on the 6th, yeah, 6 and 7 really. Cybersecurity. Next week we're going to discuss about the proxy and VPN and then bandwidth management, and then okay. On the 6 and 7 we're going to discuss next generation firewall. So we're going to skip the discussion of next generation firewall, but we're going to show it just for demo purposes how a next generation firewall works. Okay. Now that's it for today. If you have any question, please ask. And don't forget to do the quiz number 3, because this quiz will be counted as a component in your final score. Jadi nilai dari quiz 3 ini akan dihitung dalam perhitungan akhir. Karena perhitungannya adalah 40% project 1, 40% project 2, dan 20% daily quiz. Jadi nilainya adalah 20% untuk quiz-quiz ini. Semua akan rata-rata seluruh kuisnya dan akan didapatkan nilai untuk 20% tersebut. Okay. So, any question so far about the firewall?
Izin bertanya, Pak.
Oke, silakan.
Jadi di setiap rule itu cuma bisa ngeizinin satu service doang ya, Pak? Nggak bisa kayak satu rule bisa 2 service atau 3 service doang gitu?
Oke, good question. Sebenarnya bisa. Jadi kita bisa menggunakan koma sebenarnya di sini. Jadi misalnya 80,443 itu bisa. Bentar, saya lupa di sini bisa nggak ya? Kalau FreeBSD yang baru bisa. Saya lupa. Coba 80,443. Yap, bisa. Jadi seperti ini. Jadi kita bisa mengallow beberapa port langsung. Dan kita juga bisa mengallow subnet. Contoh misalnya ke server seperti ini. Jadi nggak perlu per IP address. Sebenarnya we don't have to limit a specific IP address. We can use subnet in here. Sebenarnya aturannya sama seperti di Linux. Di Linux kalau nggak salah menggunakan paket filter PF. Cuma di sini dia cuma beda sintaks saja. Intinya sama. Mungkin itu menjawab?
Ya, Pak. Terima kasih, Pak.
Okay, any other question? Jadi kalau generasi kedua, kita hanya perlu menambahkan keep state untuk ngasih tahu ke firewall-nya, catat. Kalau ada paket request-nya ini, berarti ini responnya, tolong bolehin masuk. Tapi ingat, ini sintaks yang hanya di IPFW. Kalau pakai PF atau IPF itu nanti beda lagi. Cuma setidaknya ini bisa memberikan gambaran bahwa ada namanya firewall rule, dan ada namanya packet counter, dan ada rule-nya sendiri. Dan yang penting teman-teman paham, what is the difference between first generation and second generation? That's the purpose of this class, our third class. Okay. And one more thing, remember that if there is a package coming through a firewall, kalau ada paket datang ke firewall, cara mengeceknya, how the firewall check the match rule is by checking starting from the lowest number, which is 800. Jadi dia akan mengecek apakah sesuai dengan yang ini. Oh, tidak. Lanjut. Apakah sesuai dengan yang ini? Oh, tidak juga. Lanjut. Apakah sesuai dengan ini? Oh, tidak juga. Apakah sesuai dengan ini? Oh, ya pasti. Deny. So, if we create too many rules, that will create a delay in packet processing. Well, secara logika, kalau rule-nya ada 1000 misalnya, then the firewall must check one by one until it found a match rule. Oh, I found a match. Okay, next packet. Wait, no. Match rule. Okay, next packet. That means if we have so many rules, like for example, we have 1000 rules, that means it's going to delay the packet processing. So keep it minimum. Keep it in minimum. For example, only around 20 rules is enough. Okay, not more than 20. Okay, if there is no other question, then I think that's it for today. And remember, oh yeah, based on this, download and examine the VWADP PCAP. Okay, let's go back to our router and then back to our teletype 0, Alt F, and then F1. Okay, this is, and then Control C. Okay, we already have D. Okay, we have, oh, it's a very big file, 46,000 or 46 kilobytes. And then I'm going to send it and share it to the WhatsApp group. Then you can check it by yourself. Okay. Okay. And I forgot one thing. Every time you want to shut down the FreeBSD server or router, for example, like this, you need to log in first, and then you can use shutdown -P and then now. Enter. Oops. Okay. I have a typo here. Shutdown -P now. Okay, wait until it says ready to turn off. Wait, okay. Once you say that, please press any key to reboot, then you can just power off the machine. It's safe. Okay. And for the window notification, we'll just click the, sorry. You can type Alt F4 to turn off. Or you can just click the Windows button and then shut down, and then shut down. Okay, I think that's it for today, and thank you for coming, and I'll see you next week. And please say my apology about my switching kamus. Agak pusing saya sekarang. Okay, thank you for coming, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.